Tuesday, February 11th. Welcome back to Damon Bruce Plus, brought to you by Ike Sandwiches. Today's live stream also being powered by BetUS, and it is great to have you here. Thanks so much for stopping on by. We're obviously pulling ourselves out of football season, starting to look for other things to talk about, and thanks to the NBA trade deadline, bringing the Golden State Warriors, Jimmy Butler. We got a little something to talk about here. Jimmy Butler looks like a very good fit with the Golden State Warriors through 8 quarters of basketball. 8 quarters of basketball coming against a bad Bulls team and a Milwaukee Bucks team that did not have Giannis or obviously Chris Middleton, who they just traded. So, you got to grade these a little bit with a curve. But look, this is a better basketball team now than it was before they traded for Jimmy Butler. I really do believe that. Who regardless of opponent, they're winning a game on the road. Games on the road, that's good. They're a better team now in the last 2 games than they were in the previous 51 games without Jimmy Butler. And it is a compliment that these two guys have. I mean, there really are. There's such differing skill sets. I mean, Butler and Curry really are yin and yang type of basketball players. Curry even said and admitted one of the reasons why it's working is because this guy is basically the complete opposite of me. He's not hunting 3-point shots. He's not trying to play a perimeter game. He's not trying to be a jump shooter. He is looking to go to the rack, attack the basket, kick out, make the right play, and this takes so much pressure off of Steph Curry. It's not only the minutes where Jimmy can pick up the slack when Steph is resting that are helping this team, but the way the two of them have really complemented each other early going here, you can't help but notice it. One guy attacks the basket without mercy and gets to the free throw line. Other Golden State Warriors must be looking at Jimmy Butler standing on this thing called a free throw line and asking themselves, what is this? What are these? You telling me that anybody can get to shoot free throws? Because we have one of the single greatest basketball players of all time who doesn't have a game that, gets you to the free throw line very often. But Steph Curry gets the worst whistle in the history of basketball superstardom I have ever seen. Jimmy Butler has been to the line more times in 2 games than Steph Curry has been in the last 2 years. At least that's how it feels. The amount of rest the older Golden State Warriors get when the game slows down for Jimmy Butler free throws, that helps the situation. And I'll tell you, while one guy is attacking the rack without mercy, getting to the free throw line and introducing everyone to a new concept and how to score in the NBA, the other guy, continues to attack from downtown without mercy. And he opens up the court for Jimmy Butler like never before. Jimmy Butler is opening up the court for Steph Curry like none other teammates really have been able to. And again, we're 2 games in. Let's not get over our skis. Now, I remember when I was having to talk Cyrus off of his look at this stretch, and I was just saying it's just a start to the season. Nothing matters yet. And really what we've seen out of Jimmy Butler against a Giannis-less, Middleton-less Bucks team and a Bulls team that is a total work in project. What have we got? Somebody asked me, what's really the ceiling for this team? And the ceiling for this team is probably like a second-round exit from the playoffs. I still don't think they are contenders. But this is better, and this fits. And if you're asking me what needs to happen for this to really become a basketball team that is contending, well, the vibes are going to have to be immaculate, as the kids say, right? Your vibes have got to be good. And I'll tell you, the vibes, one of the things that I was worried about with Jimmy Butler, Steve Kerr got this one right, too, when he said we got Jimmy at the right time. We got Jimmy who basically, staged a fatwa in Miami to get out of there and get what he wanted. We gave Jimmy kind of what he wanted and an opportunity to continue making big money in the NBA on a team that matters. And, sunshine, sunny side up, egg Jimmy Butler is all we've dealt with so far. And it seems to be a great fit. And as long as that can happen for the remainder of this season, let's see where it goes. Be better than I assume. I freaking dare you. That would be great. That would really be entertaining. We'll take all this is working better than I handicapped it to work. I'd love to be wrong. I mean, at the end there, I was saying, I don't know about Jimmy Butler when the Golden State Warriors were thinking about that. And it felt like Jimmy Butler became the retreat point, the consolation prize for them having been, told to beat it by Kevin Durant. Pretty damn good. And look, I'm not saying that Jimmy Butler is Kevin Durant in any universe, but when you're talking about complementary players, not that anyone is, Kevin Durant is one of the all-time he can do anything on a basketball court guys, but he's also taken threes and looking to play from downtown and on the perimeter in a way that Jimmy Butler just isn't even interested in trying to play like that. So maybe Butler is even a little bit of a better fit defensively. The Warriors are still going to be a, case-by-case adventure. I'm not saying that I miss Andrew Wiggins, but Andrew Wiggins, the defender, I think is going to be missed by the Warriors a little bit here, more than we've seen so far. But I like what I see. More free throws, more rest for Curry, more someone else to carry the load when Curry is resting. I have seen more back cuts. I have seen more open looks at the rim, around the rim. I have seen less totally smoked layups because there was pressure around the rim. The Warriors their geometry is fitting them better. If you don't mind me saying, I don't know any other way to say it. And again, over the last 2 games, they've just looked from a flowing on-court. How does it look? Just naked eye, forget the score, forget whether or not the shots are going in. Just how does it look? It looks pretty good. It really does. So, okay, let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. I'm back in. I'm back, Warriors. I'm back. I want to watch. There was a minute there where whatever you were doing on a basketball court, I really wasn't interested in watching it. I was, but, my mind easily wandered. I like what I've seen out of the last 2 games from the Golden State Warriors. Let's see how long it keeps up, right? Let's see how long. We break for supers. We break for members, especially when they're celebrating a little bit of a month-iversary, not an anniversary. 13 months now, over a year from Michael. What I like the last 2 games is they're beating the teams that they're supposed to. And the fact it's coming on the road is, a very good thing as well. There's no doubt. Joe Schmo saying the Butler did it with the candlestick in the study. Thank you for making me feel less like Johnny Carson with my old generational references. Like when I created the thumbnail saying the Butler did it, I even asked myself, I'm like, how many people in YouTube's audience know what the game Clue is? Like, how many people have read enough mysteries for the concept of the Butler did it? Does this still carry water as a phrase anymore? I didn't know, but thank you very much. I liked the thumbnail, but again, I'm a 49-year-old guy who giggles at my own jokes. Our pal Otis Bird. What a difference these past 2 games have made. The Warriors are starting to feel like the 2015 through 19, the 2002 Warriors. Still early, but this is the best this team has looked in a while. Again, yeah, I'm not ready to go and talk about any element of the title that they're about to contend for. I don't see the Warriors as a Western Conference Finals participant. Not yet. But I like what I see. I like what I see. And given the fact that before it, I wasn't liking what I was seeing, that's improvement in my book, so I will take it. We've got Almighty Jala. I used to go to high school with a kid named Jala Kusich. This isn't Jala Kusich, is it? Almighty Jala. Tim Kawakami says the Warriors defense sucks now. Well, guess what? It kind of sucked anyway. It wasn't exactly a slap the floor defensive basketball team. But they're not bad. Not bad. We'll see. Bigger tests are coming up. Speaking of Tim Kawakami there, Almighty Jala. Tim Kawakami did write, and he made this observation. I'm not stealing from Tim. I'm just going to read you the tweet because I agree with it. He said, in 2 games prior to Butler's arrival, Curry was scoring an average of 34.5 points, but he needed 33 shots to get there. In the 2 games with Butler, Curry's scoring average has jumped to 36 points with an average shot selection of 21.5. More production, more efficiency, fewer shots, There's nobody who has to work harder in the NBA to get a shot off than Steph Curry. So if Curry has to work less hard during a game, this is officially a very good thing for the Golden State Warriors. And again, Kawakami points out, not only is it more efficient, it is much less draining on Steph. So I mean, again, we're still on the bunny slope of all this. We have not skied down the real mountain yet, but I like the skis. I like the poles. The chairlift is running. It's working. It's working. We'll see to the degree which it works as we go along here, but okay, it's working. By the way, you know what also seems to be working? Not that we've seen a lot of it. As a matter of fact, we've only seen it once. Did you watch Luka and the Lakers and LeBron at all last night? I did. And let me just tell you, right when you start getting excited about what Jimmy and Steph might be able to do together, you look at Luka and LeBron, and it's just like, fuck, this is going to be tough. The two of them together is going to be a handful for the NBA. And I really, you know what Luka's going to do for the Lakers, maybe more than anything? I think LeBron is signing one more NBA contract. Luka Doncic is going to be able to take a workload and a scoring load off of LeBron, where LeBron is at the very, very tail end of his career here, going to be maybe get the opportunity to have a couple aging gracefully seasons where you're not looking at the 40-year-old guy in your team to lead the way, not just, in crunch time. You want him in crunch time. Of course he's supposed to lead the way in crunch time. It's the 46 minutes before you get to crunch time that LeBron doesn't have to play his rear end off in with Luka now out there. This is going to be a problem. Luka Doncic, 77 jersey with the Lakers. It's like I've already forgotten that he was a Dallas Maverick. He looks like he's been a career Laker already. He's had one start. The little pregame pep talk that LeBron gave Luka, it was awesome. I don't know if you caught it or not, but LeBron said to him, Luka, don't try to fit in. I want you to fit the fuck out. Awesome. Somebody needs to print that t-shirt. Don't try to fit in. You fit the fuck out is what LeBron said in that pregame huddle, and the mics caught it. And Luka even said, I got the chills when he said that. And that is LeBron basically saying, I've had some good teammates, but I've never had a dog like you to run with. You don't try to keep up with me. We'll try to keep up with you, man. Take it. What an empowering moment for Luka. That's big. And look, Luka is going to take the pressure off of LeBron more than AD ever could, because, Anthony Davis is not initiating offense. Anthony Davis isn't bringing the ball up the court. Anthony Davis is where everybody's eyes go. It's not where everybody's eyes are starting. Everybody's eyes are on Luka the minute that ball is inbounded. The minute that ball crosses half court, Luka's in range. So it is a savagely scary situation that is brewing between Lakers, LeBron, and Luka. So keep an eye on that shit. That's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem, and I really do mean it. I really think that this is going to extend LeBron's career. I think LeBron is now going to be playing in like his age 43, 44, 45 season. I bet you LeBron signs one more contract. That is the gift of Luka. Meanwhile, back in Dallas, did you see last night that the Mavericks are so unpopular right now with their own fans? They're very hesitant to whip the in-arena camera around and put it on fans. They're confiscating signs. They basically are very, very worried about fan brushback at all times, to the point where, this trade is so unpopular, the Mavericks had to get rid of Kiss Cam, because Kiss Cam is going to quickly become fuck you Cam. That sounded a little bit differently than I meant it. I'm not saying people are going to start having sex on camera. They're going to say, screw you, Dallas Mavericks, right to the camera. And we got an example of that last night. So at the game, they finally do some sort of fan stand-up, sing along to something. And one of the guys who stood up to sing along to something looked right in the camera and said, could read his lips, said, fuck you, Nico. And Nico Harrison is the general manager who traded Luka Doncic. And Nico Harrison is so unpopular in Dallas that they have to have extra security in the building around his suite and by his car. Like, there are fans who want to hurt Nico over this. And, basically the equivalent of trading Roger Staubach is what he just did, right? I mean, the Mavericks don't got a lot of legends. It's Dirk, Jason the Jet Terry a little bit, maybe a little bit of Jason Kidd. Not a lot. Luka, in the short amount of time in his career, has already become like the second most important Dallas Maverick of all time. And he's gone. And he's 25. And he's going to go play the Lakers for like 15 years now. Oof. Sip of the day right there, by the way. That was perfect. Thank you very much, coffee. Outstanding. The fan who mouthed the F you, Nico, was escorted out by security. That's pathetic. Like, Dallas Mavericks, you know what? You really should almost fold as a franchise and move to Las Vegas, because you're doing everything humanly possible to step on your fans' throats. That is gross. You make the most unpopular trade in NBA history for a fan base, and you're looking for love, you're looking for happiness. You douchebags. This is the physical equivalent of the Oakland A's turning off any ability to respond to them on social media. I wonder if at any point in time during the Oakland A's, Sacramento A's era, if they'll have the guts to even reactivate people's ability to respond to their tweets. I bet you they don't. Those freaking cowards. So there you go. Not a lot of shows in the past few months have started with like 20 minutes on the NBA, but this is where we are now in our sports calendar. We will certainly be looking at the NFL. We got some NFL news to share with you, just a little bit of it here on today's show. But keep a lookout, subscribe to this channel for any and all of your draft build-up. I hope you plan on coming along with me for this offseason. Should be a really, really good one. As always, we thank our sponsors here, starting with my man Ike of Ike Sandwiches. There is nobody serving up a better sandwich anywhere in America, at over 100 locations up and down the West Coast, expanding now ever eastward. I hope there is an Ike's near you. And if there was, please go ahead and sign up for that Ike's Love Rewards program. You get a free sandwich when you sign up. You get free purchases. I know that he's running like Valentine's Day specials right now, and you can learn all about it when you sign up for his app. There's a reason to. Free stuff, chief among them. My friends at the Dubliner, best bar in San Francisco's south part of the city, the Dubliner West Portal. Love those guys. Go say hi to Kenny and John for me. Where are you watching your Warriors games? Where are you planning on watching baseball's opening day? Head on out to the Dubliner. Great bar. It's a sports bar, but it's not. It's an Irish bar, but it's not. It's a neighborhood bar, but it definitely is. It's everything a bar should be. It's perfect. It's well lit. It's well volumed. And that matters to me now more than ever, now that I'm an old crotchety man. I like a well-volumed bar that got good volume. Take all the volume that you're going to be giving to your gambling needs and take them to BetUS. Use promo code YouTube150 when you start playing to get 150% off your sign-up bonus up to $2,000. And the casino is now open on BetUS. Get a 200% sign-up bonus up to $5,000 and 250% crypto sign-up bonus up to $5,000 right now in the casino over on BetUS. Thanks to my sponsors. Thanks to all of you. I'll tell you, you can tell football season's over because new subscribers have been stagnating. I've actually lost a few. I think people are like, football season's over. I'm going to unsubscribe to the channel for a little bit while. I don't know if that's how it goes. But go ahead, like and subscribe if you would, please. I would thank you very, very much if you did. And by the way, the comments that you always offer up, get back to me. I try to heart them. I try to respond to some of them, and I'll be responding to one of them here in just a second. But it was really good that Jimmy Butler's debut has gone so well. We got Maverick Fury. We got Luka and the Lakers. The other thing that I have to tell you about from the NBA is, here I am in San Francisco. I don't live far away from Chase Center at all. And I can tell you that it would be impossible to have less buzz attached to the coming All-Star game to Chase Center than they actually have. When I say that there is zero buzz in San Francisco about the coming NBA All-Star game, I'm not exaggerating. It is none. Zero buzz. Adam Silver has done a couple of local interviews, I think, trying to drum up interest. Snooze fest. Nobody gives a shit that San Francisco is about to host an All-Star game because nobody gives a shit about this All-Star game anymore. And the only thing that maybe could make, the Bay Area really kind of lean into this, if this whole thing was going to be a premier Steph Curry showcase, but it won't be. Steph Curry's not even participating in the three-point contest. This is like when Barry Bonds didn't participate in the home run contest when the All-Star game was in San Francisco. This is ridiculous. Look, Steph Curry has pretty much made zero PR mistakes, zero bad decisions, zero why are you doing that choices in his career. Why is Steph not participating in the three-point contest? Your three-point contest participants will be Jalen Brunson, Cade Cunningham, Darius Garland, Tyler Hero, Buddy Hield, who can't hit a three anymore, Cameron Johnson, Dame Lillard, Norm Powell. Steph Curry's not participating in the three-point contest in Chase Center? Okay. Sure. What do you tell me? Ferraris don't come in red anymore? Okay. I guess that's a choice. I'm stunned by that. No buzz, zero buzz about an All-Star game coming. Charles Barkley saying San Francisco sucks has been more covered than any element of this All-Star game. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. The NBA has killed its own All-Star game by letting players be the biggest piles of shit who just decided decades ago, we're not even going to try hard in this game, and that's the way we are now. And they can come up with, here's how we're going to pick teams. Here's how we're going to creatively, make you guys want to play hard against each other. We're going to have some weird rules. We're going to play with some weird scoring system. We're going to start with everyone having 25 points and play backwards to zero. There's no amount of, can we mask the fact that not even our players care it's the All-Star game, and you can't. If the players in the All-Star game couldn't give a shit about the All-Star game, why should I? The All-Star game for a decade now has been an unwatchable event. Maybe you get one good dunk in a dunk contest full of absolute nobodies and two-way players and D-leaguers, and it's just, what are you doing? What are you doing? The NBA has allowed its players to ruin its own All-Star game. And they have. No buzz. No, but there's not a single story about how it's tough to get a hotel room. There's not a single story about how, oh, this is going to be a hard club to get into on NBA All-Star Game. Well, San Francisco's always been a crappy club in town anyways. But there's not a restaurant that I've heard say, well, you're not going to be able to get in here over All-Star Weekend. There's not a hotel that has said that. There's no element of this game hitting San Francisco that anyone in San Francisco has discussed, talked about, or noticed. It's amazing. It really is. We might get something. The vets aren't going to want to lose it again against the rising stars. Their pride won't allow it. There is no All-Star Weekend pride. No one gives a shit. No one gives a shit. Maybe you're right, Muhammad. This is certainly what the NBA is counting on, but I don't think they're going to get it. Not caring about the All-Star game somehow became cool. Unfortunately, Kobe Bryant had to die for that to happen. These guys out there, look, the NBA's got a lot of skilled players. There are not a lot of killers out there anymore. Kobe was a killer, man. You know, game on, the only color he saw was red. You know, basically, the entire NBA, except for the married guys, and maybe even them too, the entire NBA bangs the same 12 Instagram models and all goes to the same club and all gets their jewelry from the same guy, and everyone in the league is friends with everyone in the league, and there's really no rivalry between any element of any players anymore. It's just fans pretending that they're rivals. I don't know. I love basketball, but I don't love elements of what basketball has become. It's really weird. And I would have never assumed that it was going to be the players themselves that made me care less about it. What do we got here? Muhammad says, the Thompson twins beating Steph, LeBron, and KD. Nah, they'll put in a little effort. Maybe. Here you go. This says it all. 49ers red zone. I didn't even know it was here. Yeah, I bet you if you walked downtown in San Francisco and you asked, where's the All-Star game this year? I bet you the most popular answer on the board is, I don't know. More than you'd have people say, well, oh, it's here. It's going to be here next week at Chase Center. The new format is confusing. Yeah. Buddy Hield 3-point contest. Buddy Hield is supposed to be able to hit 3-pointers. He just really hasn't done that very often in games for the Golden State Warriors. Nobody cares. Shout out Gary Radnich. I do believe that Gary invented that phrase. Thank you, Chef. Damon, I haven't been watching Warriors games for a while now until Butler got here. What happened to TJD? How can he break out of his sophomore slump? Hey, dude, you can't just be a disaster around the rim. Try to dunk some stuff because you hit layups like my grandmother. I don't know what happened to Trace Jackson Davis, but he has done as much to play himself out of the rotation as Steve Kerr is finicky and picky and got him out of the rotation. I would say Trace earned fewer minutes the way that he'd been playing. And, I'm just going to be honest with the guy. I love Trace, but you can't be awful around the rim and not have a jump shot. You can't be both. And unfortunately for Trace, it's been a little bit of both. Oh, Sam Bruno Mike, like that sip of the day. Cha-ching. I'm glad you liked it, Mike. Thank you. Here is a headline that gave me pause this morning when I opened up ESPN.com. The headline was, Kerr not guilty of racially aggravated harassment. And I was like, what? What story did what the hell is this? And I click on it. Apparently, there is an Australia striker named Sam Kerr, who's not even a guy. That's a girl. It's Samantha Kerr, I guess. They call her Sam Kerr. Anyways, this is some female soccer player who was involved in some aggravated harassment in London And that's what I clicked on it. I'm like, it's a story about soccer. Go away. But there you go. I've never seen the words Kerr, racial harassment in the same sentence. I was like, there's no way. And I clicked on it. And sure enough, yeah, there was no way. It had nothing to do with Steve Kerr. It was not about him at all. I was like, what? Click. Oh, a different person. Of course it is. Indulge me for a moment here. And this might offend some people. I don't care. There is one more story about race that I would like to talk about today, no matter how uncomfortable it makes anyone. And it's the single worst trend on social media right now. If you've opened social media, if you've gone on Facebook, if you've gone on Twitter, if you've gone wherever, maybe Blues, I don't know, wherever you're doing your social media business, I got a nickel that says you have already seen a video of some white woman explaining the symbolism of Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance. This has to go away. This seriously, this has to go. Just stop. You're not an interpreter for the culture. And because you liked it doesn't mean you get an invite to the barbecue. Did you know that the flag being divided is a division in our... Yes. I got it. I get it. We don't need any more of this. We don't need any more of white women saying like, oh, Serena crip walking is my everything. No, it's not. If that's your everything, you've got nothing in life. You need to, what do the kids say? You need to go touch some grass. Seriously. Like, Serena crip walking is my everything. Shut the fuck up, Tiffany. Shut up. Shut up. You ain't from Compton just because you downloaded an album. You're not here to interpret for the culture. Like last week, you're all about ketchup, but this week you're all about mustard. I mean, shut the fuck up. Seriously, white women, pipe the fuck down. Seriously, it's insane. It's insane. Let me explain to you what Kendrick Lamar and his symbolism mean. Did you know that Samuel Jackson dressed as Uncle Sam is a shot at America and the perception of, yes, yes, we get it. Oh my God. Oh my God. Let me explain to you about Black prison culture and how this element of the video is a representation of prison culture. And oh my God. Thanks, Debbie. Appreciate it, Crystal. Thank you. Fuji Simeon, by the way, sorry to mention this, but Farhan Zaidi has been hired as a special advisor for the Dodgers. Fuji, I saw that. His role now as a mole who's just been working for the Dodgers this entire time is complete. Go ahead. Go ahead. Bring him back. Bring him back. Red Jet. Thank you, Damon, for keeping it Tiffany up in here. You're welcome, Red Jet. I'm guessing as a Black woman, you are thrilled when a white woman comes on your social media feed to explain Black culture to you. I'm so sorry, Red Jet. Be like, okay, Amber, I know you like rap and you dated a guy who was half Black your sophomore year, but you are not the United Nations now. Stop it. Unbelievable. By the way, Amber. Yeah, seriously, Amber. All right, Amber. Tell me more about Kendrick Lamar in Compton and Serena crip walking. Thank you. There you go. Red Jet be like, they not like us. Thank you. Thank you. Amber alert. Again, these are the segments that when I did them on the radio, they would get me in trouble. Here on YouTube, there is no trouble available. What am I going to do? Suspend myself for insensitivity? Did you know that Serena dated? Yes! We know. Okay, little NFL news for you now that the public service announcement of this video and this live stream has been served. Some NFL news for you today. Brandon Staley is rumored to be in contention for the Saints defensive coordinator job, as was the rumor Kellen Moore is taking that job. He has been named the Saints head coach. Staley very likely to join his staff. And hey, you know, I know it's always going to be popular to dump on Brandon Staley. What Brandon Staley's job with the 49ers was never clearly defined or understood by maybe even the team itself, much less the fans. Good luck, Brandon Staley. I don't hate the Saints. I don't hate Kellen Moore. I don't think Brandon Staley has to live with the crown of he's a bad coach for the rest of his life. I don't think he was a great head coach, but as a defensive coordinator, I think he's still got some value to offer in this league, and the guy is young. You know, I bet you Vic Fangio had some bad years, but they didn't try to throw him out of the league when he was still in his late 30s, early 40s. The guy coached another 20 years, and look what he just did. So, a little patience. Good luck, Brandon Staley. No hard feelings at all. Speaking of, the guy you think sucks today could turn into something better than you thought tomorrow, let's just look at what happened with Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni, do you realize that for the rest of his life, he gets to be introduced as Super Bowl winner Nick Sirianni? So he's got that. This guy's now coached in this game twice. Nick Sirianni has the 5th best winning percentage in NFL coaching history. Still a small sample size, but that's what the numbers bear. Through 4 seasons, Nick Sirianni has won 54 games. That is the second most wins through any 4-season stretch in any career we've ever seen. George Seifert, 57. George Seifert won 57 games in his first 4 years with the 49ers. Sirianni is now at 54 wins, and that's better than the Jim Harbaugh start with the 49ers that everybody said was like one of the greatest head coaching starts of all time. By the way, it's funny that Jim Harbaugh, John Harbaugh, and Matt LaFleur of the Green Bay Packers are all tied at 49 wins through 4 seasons. So you got both Harbaugh brothers who have done that. You've got LaFleur, who's obviously active in coaching the Packers, Seifert, long retired, and Nick Sirianni. 54 wins over 4 years. That's pretty damn good. Throwing a Super Bowl, that's really good. So, yeah, I mean, Joe, there is absolutely no doubt Sirianni, God in Philly. Now, here's the thing. I will say this. The minute they start backtracking, the knives will come out and they'll run him out of town. I mean, Doug Peterson, you thought Doug Peterson's now going to be the coach of the Eagles forever. He was gone quickly, so replaced by Sirianni. Let's see. Let's see. But he certainly gets a couple seasons grace period for sure. And by the way, the Eagles aren't going away. Irwin, hit that like and subscribe if you've had enough of Amber. Nick Sirianni, he does get to live on the high horse in Philadelphia for a while now. There is no doubt about that. So listen to this. I don't know if, you're out there frickin' tracking outfits, but oh my God, Damon's wearing a collar today, which is the equivalent of dressed up here in my YouTube era. Why am I wearing a collar today? It's because in about an hour from now, which means I got to go upstairs and clean, a camera crew or maybe that's probably an exaggeration. It's one guy with a tripod, but a guy who is putting together, you might have heard me and Kruger talking about this on a wake up. There is a documentary being made about Marty Lurie. And I think they're calling it like Baseball's Mensch. And there's a documentary being made about Marty Lurie that, again, if there is a love letter being crafted for Marty Lurie, I have to sign that letter before it gets mailed. So I am taping something for the Marty Lurie documentary, which is why I'm wearing a collared shirt and I shaved this morning because I want to look good for Marty's doc, as good as I can anyways. I got to go upstairs and clean it up, clean up the house a little bit because it's a mess. The boys been ripping shit up since Jillian left for Chicago on a work trip. But yeah, I freaking love Marty. I love Marty. Marty, there's a lot of people who are going to be in this doc who are pretending they really know Marty Lurie. I sat next to Marty in that press box for a decade. Marty is mishpucha to me. He is family to me. Marty, one of the few people who came and visited me while I was in the hospital having suffered from that stroke all those years ago. Marty was there. And of course, he showed up with bagels and lox. And I remember saying, Marty, I just had a stroke. I don't know if I'm supposed to have bagels, cream cheese, and lox. And he's like, what's going to happen? You're in the hospital. I was like, he's right. I mean, there's no element of something that could go wrong that can't be addressed right where I am. So yeah, Marty, give me that everything bagel with the schmear and the lox and the capers and the onions on it. Love this guy. Love Marty Lurie. So I'm going to be in that documentary. I need to be in that documentary. I freaking love Marty. The guy's like my uncle. It's like my Jewish uncle. Freaking love Marty. So that's what I'm doing this afternoon. Let's see what else is going on today. Oh, I guess it's time for Today in History. But before we get to Today in History, I do have to start with a historic sporting event that is separated all by itself from Today in History. Because Today in History, we got today in 1990, February 11th, 1990, we have what I believe to this day is still the single biggest sporting upset of my lifetime, and I do not believe it will ever be trumped. Today in 1990, in Tokyo, James Buster Douglas knocked out Mike Tyson. When I talk about jaw-dropping results, that's what I mean. Nobody in the world, nobody on the planet, nobody watching that night could believe what they saw as they were seeing it. It was one of the most stunning things, and if you don't mind me saying, I'm waxing poetic about the family that is Marty. My dad, one of the most vivid memories of watching sports with my dad is that night, because we were both watching Mike Tyson. We had seen Mike Tyson fight in person. So my dad and I were, big Tyson fans, like everybody was. And that was just like, the death of innocence. Like my childhood ended in 1990 with that happening to Mike Tyson. And oh my God, it was just, it was the sports equivalent of the sun rising in the West. Like that'll never happen. The amount of that'll never happen that was attached to James Buster Douglas's chances tonight were to infinity. Tyson's cornermen didn't even bring the stuff that they needed to be cornermen in a fight. They didn't even think that James Buster Douglas was going to hit Mike. So they didn't have a cold compress. They didn't have the eye swell. I don't even know if they had much Vaseline to put on Mike and get his face all greased up. I mean, it was you saw the panic unfold in real time, and the panic was unfolding on everyone's face except for Mike's. And then Mike got clocked and knocked the fuck out. And it was unbelievable. Mike Tyson scurrying around in the corner, looking for his mouthpiece, trying to get it back up into his mouth as he's trying to get up from an 8 count. It's amazing. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. In person. Yeah, G. Martinez. I wasn't in Tokyo. Mike Tyson fought an awful lot in upstate New York during his come up. And so my dad and I saw him fight some bum, some nobody, at the RPI Fieldhouse. The Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, RPI. Great college, by the way. Joe Schmo says, my dad saw him fight a couple times. Yeah, it was something else, man. Was it on HBO or Showtime? That was HBO. That was when that's when boxing was on HBO. Oh, Atlantic 82. Hold on, wait. Underestimating sensation. Sensatune. Hold on. Sorry, I didn't mean to click on you there, Sporticus. I meant to click on this. 82 Atlantic says, are you going to watch the Indiana-Michigan State game? Tom Izzo has a chance to surpass Bob Knight's all-time Big Ten wins. There is no one in the world that I'm more comfortable with surpassing Bob Knight's all-time Big Ten win total than Tom Izzo. I love Tom Izzo. He is everything a college basketball coach is supposed to be. Izzo is a badass. So I am all about that torch being passed from Knight to Izzo. Well, there's no torch being passed. Izzo's taking it. And Indiana will lose that game. Indiana will not win another game under Mike Woodson, I don't believe. Mike Woodson's going to be allowed to step away at the end of the year. They should put a bullet in him right now. It should be over. It should be over. Everyone's trying to do this the right, gentle way. There's no gentle way to fire a legend. It's got to go. Mike Woodson's got to go. All right. Let's get to today in history. Kind of an interesting day. An interesting day today in history. First of all, we'll always start with birthdays. Happy birthday, 56 years old, born in 1969. Happy birthday to the woman who gave us the Rachel, Jennifer Aniston. Jennifer Aniston. Look, I was not a big Friends guy, but there's no denying how big of a deal Jennifer Aniston was in her moment in Hollywood. She was the it girl for a very, very long time. Two of the biggest duds in political history share a birthday today. Former Florida governor, low energy, Jeb Bush, born today. He's 72 years old. And the biggest dimwit to ever truly run for the highest office in the land, well, the second highest office in the land, Sarah Palin, who, when asked about her diplomatic relations, said, I can see Russia from my house. Sarah Palin turns 61 years old today. Jeb Bush, Sarah Palin, morons. Happy birthday. Today in 1752, the Pennsylvania Hospital was opened. It was the first hospital in the United States. They began admitting patients on this day in 1752. And as you might suspect, the very first patients in the Pennsylvania hospital that day in 1752 were a couple drunk Eagles fans who got in a fight in a parking lot. Today in 1847, Thomas Edison, who at one point in time, maybe still does, hold the world record with 1,093 patents with his name on it, either as the sole inventor or a member of the inventing team. Today, Thomas Edison was born in Milan, Ohio. I mean, we don't have electricity without this dude. We're not talking together right now without this guy. Or maybe he just took a lot of credit for other people's work, and Thomas Edison was a little bit of the Elon Musk of the day. I don't know. I wasn't there. But Thomas Edison, it's his birthday. And because it's his birthday, today is also Inventor's Day. where we celebrate people who have invented things. The National Hamburger Day, National Yellow Balloon Day. Who comes up with these things? Well, I can finally understand why today's National Inventors Day. It's on the birthday of Thomas Edison, who, like, when you open the encyclopedia and say, show me an inventor, you get a picture of Thomas Edison basically first. By the way, if of all of the, what day is it? It's go hug each other day. It's National Appreciate Puppies and Sweaters Day. It's National, Dachshunds and Boots Day. People who come up with this shit, I don't know how or why or what, but I do believe that today we have reached the least worthy of celebration. More, are we seriously? Today, I'm not even joking. Today is National Pro Sports Wives Day. I mean, I didn't know that this was like beyond the London newspapers. They do the WAGs section, wives and girlfriends of soccer players. Like, they do that over there. Wives and girlfriends, I guess, of American athletes, as the profile is risen with, Taylor Swift, obviously. Justin Verlander's brought Kate Upton to the Bay. So, this is I guess it's bigger now than it was before. But Pro Sports Wives Day, these women did not need energy. Basically, it's like, congratulations on fucking a professional athlete day and doing it well enough to where they're like, all right, you're the one. Basically, you're saying it's National Really Hot Chick Day, who was lucky enough to start having sex with a millionaire and did it so well and connected so deeply that you actually got married. Congratulations. Is there an element of the community that needs less celebration than National Pro Sports Wives Day? It's a day to recognize and appreciate the contributions of professional athletes' wives to their sport and community. There's not a single wife in professional sports affecting the outcome of games. Maybe they run some element of charity, and that's all great. That's to be celebrated. But come on, National Pro Sports Wives Day? Chef A says, I want to hug a chef day. Every day should be Hug a Chef Day. Does Kate Upton have her own Ike's Sando yet? E. Scott Burns? I don't believe so. Kyle Juszczyk's wife makes jackets. Is she really contributing to the country, or is she selling designer brand jackets that normal people could never afford? How much do we really want to celebrate her? Today, in 1928, Ed Shoemaker invented the Lazy Boy recliner. Thank you, Ed. Every single person who's watching right now has a grandfather, an uncle, a grandmother, an aunt, someone in their family who has fallen asleep on the Lazy Boy recliner after Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner. We've all seen it. We've all done it. Hopefully it's happened to you too. Now, I tell you that the Lazy Boy was invented today in 1928 to also let you know that today in 1929, Benito Mussolini signed the Lateran Treaty that recognized papal sovereignty of the Vatican City in Rome. And Vatican City is its own little nation state. The smallest country in the world is Vatican City. Vatican City is its own little papal government right there in the middle of Rome. And I wanted to let you know about that, to just let you know that the Lazy Boy has been around longer than Vatican City sovereignty. I find that reassuring in some way. There you go. The Lazy Boy has been around longer than the Vatican City has been recognized. Speaking of, where is she again? Chef A. We love you, Chef A. Chef A, today is a day that is a big deal for people in your industry, because the woman who got America interested in cooking made her television debut today on WGBH, coming out of Boston in 1963. The very first Julia Child program was televised. The French Chef, starring Julia Child, debuted today in 1963. I love Julia Child. I used to watch the shit out of Julia Child. Julia Child was the woman that reminded me of my grandmother, so I would watch her cook, and like I get all these warm, fuzzy feelings. My grandmother had the same sort of like, pots and pans hanging arrangement in her kitchen too, sort of the staple, the holes in the wall that she would hang her thing. And like I was just comforted by Julia Child breaking down chickens. And I have, to this day in my life, I still watch a lot of food TV and Food Network and cooking shows. I love that shit. It all started with Julia Child. There's a couple good movies about Julia Child too. So I got respect for Julia. Thank God Julia's gone, because watching her try to explain to me what Kendrick Lamar's halftime symbolism would have been about, that would have been too much. That would have been way too much. Finally, today in 2012, Whitney Houston died. Today in 2012, at the age of 48, we lost Whitney Houston, one of the single greatest voices that ever sang into a microphone. Say whatever you want about Whitney Houston. Her knobby knees, the fact that she couldn't move any more than the microphone stand. Whitney Houston, her amazing voice to cannot dance Venn diagram is a perfect circle. She could not move at all, which is why her performances always came off a little awkward and stunted. And maybe this is a reason why, the black community didn't quite embrace Whitney Houston until it was a little too late, because she just wasn't quite the entertainer that you were expecting. I don't know. But either way, Whitney Houston, unfortunately, she would still be alive today, but she met Bobby Brown. And Bobby Brown ruined Whitney Houston. When you talk about like who is a person in life that unfortunately you met and then everything kind of went wrong from there, for Whitney, it was Bobby Brown. And you can call it real love, but he turned her into a crack addict. And she died of heart disease. Cocaine was found in her system. She died drowning in a hotel room tub. Thanks, Bobby. Whitney Houston was freaking incredible. By the way, listen to David Byrne of Talking Heads does a cover of Whitney Houston's which one is it? Which song does he cover of hers? It's a great cover. It's not how will I know that she really loves me? I'm too shy, can't speak. It's not that one. It's the other one. I can't even get it in my mind. I'll have it on tomorrow's show for you. It's not. It's the dance song. Anyone else got that right now? Anyone can? Damn it can sang. That boy good. Yeah. Thank you, Red Jet. The Whitney Houston. What's the other Whitney Houston song that is? I got to look this up. Hold on. David Byrne covers Whitney Houston. I want to dance with somebody. That's what it is. Listen to David Byrne's cover of I Want to Dance with Somebody. It's a Whitney Houston song, but he crushes it. Absolutely crushes it. Oh, I want to dance with somebody. Now I want to feel the heat with somebody. It's great. It's a great song. It's a great cover. Goodbye, Whitney. You are missed. And there you go. That's the show. That's it today. Chef A, you catered for Talking Heads? For Bill Graham Presents? They were polite. David Burns being polite is not what anybody says. So you're the first person that ever said David Burns was easy to work with. Want to dance with somebody. There it is. Oh, who's calling me? Oh, hold on. I'm going to have to get back to you there, buddy. That's it. Calls are coming in. I got to go. I got a Marty Lurie documentary to appear in, I guess. So I want to thank you very, very much. Couldn't quite hit that note like Damon did, though. I want to dance with somebody. I want to feel the heat with somebody. All right, that's enough. Sports don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, he's gone.